And, you know, the stun from the Monkey King, but none of those will really be instantaneous enough for the Storm unless you catch him outside, particularly the Monkey King stun. Probably your best bet from out of vision. So that is probably one of the things that Fnatic has going for themselves here, that the Storm can kind of zip in and out without being punished too hard.
Fnatic, they do have one more ban remaining. Adroit, they did end up getting rid of the Darks here as their final ban out. I kind of wonder what you're really worried about here if you are Fnatic, right? Like, I guess you don't want any more forms of catch here for the Storm Spirit. There are plenty of heroes that can kind of do that, though. You already have the Ember with the chains, but that's not really the most reliable source of lockdown for the Storm. Fnatic, not much time left. They have 13 seconds of reserve time, and they do actually get rid of the Slardar now, which is not a hero we see so often anymore, but it does pop up here and there. Now, I'm kind of sitting there, I'm about to ask how they finish this draft off, but I'm also kind of wondering how they're going to lane this these heroes. Like, where is this Alchemist going? Is it going to be just your safe lane Alchemist and the mid-storm? Are they doing something funny with the Alchemist?
I think it's got to be the safe lane Alch in this case. The Storm Spirit definitely needs that mid lane. It wants that solo EXP, solo form. Pride to get a fast level 6. Dip into the jungle if necessary as well. And they do go with the NP last pick, so I believe you're really going to see that Alch in the safe lane at the very least. You still have some flexibility with whether or not the Chen or the NP is going to be played by Ice. I think he might go for the NP. We have seen Fnatic throw him into that hero a couple of times, and he is highly disruptive with that hero. Wouldn't blame them for tossing him in there. So you already have a pretty solid lineup from Fnatic. I think they should be able to get a decent timing here. Key thing is to ensure their Alchemist is not going to be shut out in the lane. They're going to have to invest in the resources to get that done, and that can be a bit rough, especially if you're laning against the Shadow Demon. He can lay onto you with that early damage if you're not careful, and the Alchemist is not particularly tanky early on. Not until he hits level 6, that's when he can really sustain himself.
Adroit, final pick. They do end up picking up the Bristleback, and, you know, I gotta say, this draft from Adroit does look very powerful. You've got 3 cores that really don't need too much farm to be very, very effective. They're also very lane dominant. Like, none of these cores on the side of Adroit really lose lanes. Although Fnatic's draft, as we know, like, it's all about 23 Savage, right? If he gets the farm on the Alch fast, you know, you just need a bit of follow-up from Moon and Ice, but overall, the Alchemist is going to carry you through the game. But Adroit with these pickups, I think they've drafted very well to try and counteract this Alchemist draft.
It really does target that hero quite nicely. As you mentioned, it doesn't take too much farm for them to come online. They will really have to keep an eye on Savage. Even after the laning phase, they're going to have to ward up that jungle. We have seen teams make that mistake where, alright, we won the laning phase, the Alchemist is kind of slowed down, but they leave him alone in the jungle. They take their time in taking objectives, and the Alchemist comes out of the jungle fully farmed up with a Radiance, with anything else he needs, maybe Mad Style, maybe whatever else, and he just wrecks. You have to ensure Adroit keeps that pace up, keeps the map shut down with this kind of lineup, and just dominate completely past the 15-minute mark. Like, just keep wards up in the jungle, ensure Savage has no safe space to farm, and if Savage has no safe space to farm, then Moon's going to be copying a hard time as well, because the Storm Spirit needs an equal amount of investment early on that hero.
Absolutely. We will get into game number 1 of this best of 3 between Adroit and Fnatic. Again, Fnatic are yet to really drop a series. They have been looking fantastic throughout the BTS Pro Series. Of course, we will have to look at some quick betting odds, John. Very important to have those on. They'll be up on the screen now. Adroit, I wonder if they are going to be able to control up this Alch. Like, it does... But it's always about the jungle stacks. Like, once you get enough stacks up, he just gains a few K worth of net worth in the jungle, you know, within 30 seconds, and suddenly he's come back out completely refreshed. Really, it's like nothing ever happened in the lane.
Yeah, he recovers quite nicely thanks to, of course, the Breedless Breed. So you're going to have to keep an eye out for that. But it's going to be a tall order to really keep track of that jungle. You've got Jabs, who's probably just going to keep constant watch there anyway while getting his rotations in for those early stacks. And the Chen just kind of guarantees you're always going to have that jungling presence anyway. So Adroit has a lot of work left on their plate. You're going to have to ensure that they take all of that space away. Conversely, Fnatic, once they fall behind, they're really starting to share farm when there's no space. I mean, even the NP Ice 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 will need some farm to come online. Of course, Moon on the Storm. We know the Storm Spirit requires some early investment. This is all in stark contrast of Adroit's own draft, which is pretty selfless. I'd say Bach is probably the one who needs the most. Even the Ember Spirit doesn't take too much, and the Monkey King doesn't take too much, but Bach will probably need 2 tank items to really stand in front.